Imagine a world where even amidst the chaos and devastation of armed conflict, there are universally accepted rules designed to limit suffering and protect human dignity. How can such an idea even begin to function when the very nature of war is destructive? International Humanitarian Law, or IHL, regulates armed conflict operations by providing a legal framework that balances military necessity with humanitarian considerations. Its fundamental purpose is to mitigate the effects of war by protecting those who are not, or are no longer, participating in hostilities and by restricting the means and methods of warfare. The core mechanism through which IHL achieves this regulation is a set of fundamental principles derived from treaties like the Geneva Conventions and customary international law. Key among these are the principles of distinction, proportionality, and precaution. Distinction mandates that parties to a conflict must always differentiate between combatants and civilians, and between military objectives and civilian objects. Proportionality requires that an attack must be canceled or suspended if the expected civilian harm or damage to civilian objects would be excessive in relation to the concrete and direct military advantage anticipated. Lastly, precaution obliges parties to take all feasible measures to avoid or minimize incidental loss of civilian life, injury to civilians, and damage to civilian objects. In practice, this means that those involved in armed conflict operations must constantly integrate these rules into their planning and actions. Before an attack, forces must verify that the target is a military objective and not a protected civilian area or object. They must also assess the potential for collateral damage to civilians and civilian infrastructure, and choose methods of attack that will avoid or minimize such harm. For example, issuing effective advance warnings to civilians of impending attacks is one such precautionary measure. It is important to remember that the concept of military necessity is not a blank check to do whatever it takes to win. It is always constrained by humanitarian law. The rules of IHL apply equally to all parties in an armed conflict, whether state armies or non-state armed groups. Violations of these rules, especially grave breaches, can lead to individual criminal responsibility, reinforcing the seriousness of adherence. The International Committee of the Red Cross, or ICRC, plays a crucial role in promoting and clarifying these complex legal provisions. Ultimately, IHL acts as a vital safety net, limiting the barbarity of war and ensuring that, even in the most extreme circumstances, a basic level of humanity and accountability is maintained. It provides a shared legal language for what is permissible and what is prohibited, offering a foundation for protecting victims and holding individuals responsible for their actions.